Everyone tells you to get a password manager. You agree it's sensible, and then you don't. Usually, that's because of two objections: the fear of creating a single point of failure and the dread of spending a whole weekend migrating accounts. Manually managing security in the modern era is a physical impossibility. We have too many accounts for one brain, and eventually the system collapses. To cope, we use formulas. You take a base word, add the name of the website, and maybe a number at the end. It feels like you have unique passwords, but you've actually created a predictable pattern. Attackers exploit this using credential stuffing. They use automated scripts to test those human formulas across thousands of sites at machine speed. This matrix shows the architectural difference. On the left, one formula connects your accounts. On the right, a password manager keeps every login isolated. In the manual model, one leaked database reveals the pattern for your bank, email, and social accounts. One breach compromises everything. Struggling to remember 100 passwords is a physical limitation, not a character flaw. Outsourcing that memory to a tool is a structural necessity for staying safe. This brings us to the single point of failure fear. To address it, we have to look at what actually happens if a hacker steals the data from the provider's own servers. The industry standard is zero-knowledge encryption. This is a design where the provider is physically incapable of seeing your actual passwords. Your master password scrambles data on your device. Only that block of gibberish travels to the company servers. If a hacker breaches the server, they walk away with code they can't decipher. Without the key held locally, the data remains unreadable. We saw this play out in the real world during the 2022 LastPass breach. Attackers obtained complete offline copies of user vaults. They held the actual files on their own machines, giving them unlimited time to attempt a crack. The results were binary. Vaults protected by long, unique passphrases stayed secure. Vaults with short or reused master passwords were systematically cracked and emptied. Without the protection of a strong passphrase, attackers used massive computing power to brute force the weak vaults over several months. Zero-knowledge architecture shifts the security burden away from the provider. Your safety depends entirely on the length of your master passphrase. Choosing a tool shouldn't be a project. It depends on your daily hardware habits, not vendor hype. First, there is the ecosystem loyalist. This is anyone who uses only Apple devices or only Google and Android. For these users, Apple Passwords and Google Password Manager are excellent. They are free, encrypted, and built directly into the operating system. This decision tree simplifies the choice. If you stay within a single ecosystem, the built-in manager is a secure outcome. If your life is cross-platform or you share passwords with family, you need a dedicated app. Dedicated managers also provide independence. They keep your credentials separate from the big tech accounts that already manage your email and storage. Bitwarden is the standard free option. 1Password is the polished, paid alternative known for high security standards. Whether you go with a built-in tool or a dedicated app, the only wrong choice is staying with your memory and your formulas. To beat the dread of migration, ignore the bulk of your accounts. You are only going to manually secure 5 of them tonight. Here is your high-priority checklist. Start with your primary email, then your bank, social, shopping, and work logins. Your primary email is top because it governs recovery. If an attacker controls that inbox, they trigger resets for everything else. Log in to these 5 specific services. Let the manager save the login, and then use the generator to replace your old password with a string of random characters. For the other 95 accounts, just live your life. As you browse normally over the next month, the manager will offer to save and upgrade those accounts one by one as you visit them. This chart shows the effort involved. There is a small spike in week 1 as you set things up, but by week 3, the tool is faster than your typing ever was. Managers also stop phishing. A look-alike website might fool your eyes, but the manager won't recognize the domain and will refuse to autofill your credentials. The goal isn't a perfect vault by Sunday. It's to spend 20 minutes tonight to stop the risk of your accounts being drained by an automated script. You only have to remember one password now. Make it a passphrase, 4 or 5 random words, at least 16 characters long, that you have never used anywhere else. Against modern hacking tools, sheer length creates a much stronger defense than a short, complex password with symbols. Keep in mind the trade-off of zero-knowledge architecture. Because the provider cannot read your data, they cannot reset a forgotten master password for you. You need a physical backup. Write your master passphrase on paper and store it securely at home. Remote hackers can't reach into your desk drawer. Also, take a moment to set up any emergency access features your provider offers, so a trusted person can help if needed. By moving away from predictable human memory and using a single secure passphrase, you gain a permanent upgrade to your digital safety.